So welcome. We do have about an hour allotted, but we do not see using the entire hour, only if you have questions. But we just wanted to make sure we gave enough time to answer the questions that we can answer for you today. So welcome. My name is Dr. Stephanie Blake, and I am the Early Childhood Racial Equity Coordinator here at Children's First. And my contact information is on the screen just in case if you may need it. So I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. I know some of you that are really familiar on this call. Some of you may not know me. So I've been in the ECE field for at least 16 years now, working from the ground level up all the way up to the federal level in the Head Start space. So I'm very well versed in the multiple funding streams that we have here in Pennsylvania and the different programs and the types. So I'm so happy to be a part of this fantastic initiative. This is really near and dear to me, as I see this is really supporting providers and also our youngest learners and giving voice to those that usually don't get a voice. So I'm super excited to help to lead this project, but of course I cannot do it alone. And I also want to just give a quick shout out to Mai. She's on the call. She's also our support as well. She is, unless she wants to wave or say a shout out, she is the Early Childhood Policy Director. So she is also supporting me with this project at Children's First. But again, I'm working with a great team of people, and I'm so excited so that I'm not doing this work alone. So I want to introduce you to them. If they're on the call, if they don't mind just taking themselves off mute, say a quick, hey, how are you? I think a lot of people already know you, but some folks don't. But I would greatly appreciate it. So there's our local child care experts. So we have Sharon Nielsen. She's on the call.
Hi, everybody. I'm really happy to be a part of this team to lead and to support our industry.
Perfect. Thank you. Sherilyn Kimball.
Hi, good afternoon. It's my pleasure to be here. Looking forward to working with each and every one of you.
We have Adrena Briggs. I'm not sure if she's on with us today. She might not be with us. We have Damaris Alvarado Rodriguez.
Hi, everyone. My name is Damaris, the Executive Director of Children's Playhouse. I'm really excited to be working in this initiative.
Okay, welcome. And then we also have our national child care experts. It's Gail North.
Hi, I'm here and really excited to be part of this and think we can make a big difference in how technical assistance and early childhood is in the city of Philadelphia.
Thank you and welcome. And I don't believe Deborah was able to join us today, but she's also a part of this team as well. So I am grateful and thankful to be working with these women. They have tons and tons of experience and also just knowing the landscape of Philadelphia and the Philadelphia region and childcare programs. So I'm super, super grateful. So what you came for, not to know about us, but to know about the project, which I understand. So the Early Childhood Provider Council. So what is it? So Children's First aims to close the racial equity gaps in the early childhood education in Philadelphia region. So we really want to hear from diverse leaders of color. But this all stems from the Philadelphia Early Learning Community Speaks Out, an action plan for quality improvement. So it's the Build Initiative report that was released in May 2021. So we will pop it in the Dropbox, but if you have not had an opportunity to look at that report, we do suggest and really encourage that you look at that report, but that's where the Provider Council came from. So the report's most critical finding is that despite the range of resources available for early childhood providers throughout this region, most of them are not visible or not even known to providers. So there's a lot happening in the Philadelphia region, but there's not a lot of, I guess, coordination of services that's occurring. So a lot of people don't know what's happening. So also the report indicated that there are duplication of efforts and effective coordination among the quality improvement of organizations serving the same providers. So I know some of you or many of you may have multiple funding streams, the pre-K counts, the Head Starts, Philly Pre-K, and you may have multiple people coming into your building. So thinking of ways, how can we streamline that? So Children's First, formerly known as PCCY, was pleased to announce the formation of the Early Childhood Provider Council. It was with generous support from Vanguard. So more than 400 providers in the field actually in the Southeast region helped to craft this report. And this is the voice of what's in the field, what's needed. So this was what was recommended. So the Provider Council is an integral part of determining what quality improvement services should be offered, how, and whether city, state, or private funding is available, and how will that be effectively used. So this Provider Council is really pivotal in shaping the early childhood landscape in the Southeast region. So what we need, folks like you. So we want to make sure the Provider Council reflects the diversity such as the Philadelphia region. So to align the racial equity, quality improvement efforts across the region, we want to ensure the council is comprised of a very diverse group of community-based providers, Head Start, pre-K counts, after-school providers, PHL pre-K, whatever you have, we want to see a representation in this council. And additionally, we just don't want to see directors. We also want to see teachers that may represent that particular program, owners of programs, or maybe you're an early childhood leader that represents a collective of early childhood professionals. We just want your voices to be heard.
You know, we're ready to get started, and I haven't heard.
I'm just gonna ask whoever that is, if you don't mind putting yourself on mute.
I mean, you know how to say, look, we're ready, you know, we're ready to get started, you know, was a good time to meet. Because I did.
Sorry,
was talking about, you know, October.
I think it's someone from New Life office. If you could, that's what thank you.
Thanks. Thank you. Appreciate that. So a few factors will be taken into consideration. So I know there's a lot of programs out there that may want to be, I say, more of a formal role on this council. And we want to make sure, again, it's very diverse and very representative of what the Philadelphia region is. So if there's an overabundance of providers that are interested, we have to look at, as a group, as a team, look at that we have representation depending on location, program type, star level, ethnic, linguistic, and immigration backgrounds, because we want to make sure those that we don't usually hear from, we actually have a voice to hear from them. So I say this to say, regardless whether it's a more formal role or not, we still want your voice to be heard. So as you know, with anything, there's only a certain amount of, people on the actual council, but we still are finding ways, or actually looking at ways right now to still have opportunities for those who, again, do not take a formal role in the Provider Council, but still get their voices heard and still want to engage with everyone. So we know this is going to move quite quickly, this process. In the beginning, it's probably going to be a huge lift on all of our ends because this is new. It's not like we created already and we're just jumping into a system that's already built. We are building the system right now. So right now, this system is just, it's going to happen a lot quicker than we may, expect. So we hope, our goal is by, I know it's already October on Friday, but by the mid to end of October to identify some of the committee members, so then we can start really moving the ship along. There's a in the chat box. Perfect. All right. So the goals for the Early Childhood Provider Council as a unified structure. So once we've identified the members, these are the goals that we hope to achieve. So this project, the first initial phase of getting all this formed and getting this structure built will happen over the next 18 months. So there's going to be a lot of pieces moving very quickly. So the first goal is to develop a shared equitable definition of quality, which is informed by all stakeholders involved in quality improvement, and using the definition to inform quality improvement initiatives involving all funding sources. So again, the Provider Council is deciding, what does quality look like? And what does that mean? So you have a voice to say, you know, what does quality look like to me, and what does quality look like to you? It should be uniform, equitable, to make sure we're all on the same playing field. Develop a create a quality hub where providers, whether they receive state, city, or private funding, they can learn about quality improvement service opportunities and can be supported as they participate in the service most suited to their needs, and where quality improvement organizations can network. So think about some of your programs or classes that have, say, pre-K counts or Philly Pre-K or Head Start. You may have different quality initiatives or folks coming into your specific classroom only really the service of that classroom. So we want to build a system that it can be equitable across the board, regardless of the funding stream that you're receiving. But as a Provider Council, you have to decide, what is that going to look like? But we want to make sure it's equitable and making sure that we have services available to everyone. Engage diverse parents, grandparents, and caregivers to participate in policy and advocacy work throughout the course of this project and facilitating their participation. So I won't go down the rabbit hole with this one, but those who are identified as, I say, more of a formal role of the Provider Council will help to engage different diverse parents and grandparents and family members in the creation of a parent council, because a lot of this work needs to happen with the parents as well, and we hope to help family engagement as well. And identify other important political priorities. So what's important? So I'll just name one. I know it's a hot topic, but it's, it's not coming from me. So workforce might be the first hot topic that you want to work on. So you may think of prioritizing as, what are some of the things that we want to address first, and how will we address that? Also contribute to the creation of a summit on equity. So what will that look like? Who will be there? What do we want? What kinds of information do we want to share to the field? And then also help to inform a report to talk about the ECE equity gaps in the Southeast region as well. You also want to identify some of the reforms needed to improve the state QRIS system by increasing cultural responsiveness and addressing barriers that hold back providers of color, immigrant providers serving children with IEPs from achieving those star 3 and 4 statuses. So what are some of those barriers that we can support those providers? And then again, members will work together to effectively across all care systems and settings and among different cultural identities to just build the system. All right, your commitment. So again, this is what we foresee, but there might be a little bit more commitment in the beginning. As I said before, there's a lot of work still happening. There's a lot of unknowns because this is brand new and we're forming it, and we want to make sure everyone's voice is heard. So your commitment is super crucial. It's very important. So attend at least 2 meetings per month. And we don't know what that's going to look like as of yet. We hope it might be virtual in the beginning, maybe a virtual face-to-face. We don't know yet, but probably be virtual in the beginning because of everything that's happening. And we want to make sure we are flexible to everyone's needs. But we hope one day we can get together and talk and maybe have some food too. Who knows? We also, we're thinking about engaging at least 4 to 6 hours of council activities. So we're estimating, and I really truly believe, and I know the team does too, in the beginning, it might take us a little bit longer because we're asking a little bit more of your time due to everything is still being formed. This is coming from you, but we're just averaging about 4 to 6 hours of council activities a month. And this can be engaging with other providers. This could be in, leading focus group. This can be serving on a committee or, recruiting families, like I said earlier, for their parent council. All right, so I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. So I'll say this before the Q&A. This is still being built and some of it is still being formed. So there's some questions I might not have the answers for, or maybe the team may not have the answers for as of yet, but as soon as we get it, we'll share to the larger group. But we'll do our best to answer your questions. And you can either, if it's easier in the chat box, or since it's not a large group, you can unmute yourself. I did a great job. Thank you. All right. No questions. I was a little nervous.
Actually, I have a question.
Okay.
I do have a question. How many people are you looking to have on your council?
So I didn't say that number on purpose because, of course, there's always a limit, but we want to actually see who is interested. And then also, we don't want to turn anyone away. So say we have X amount of people we're looking for. I don't want you to think, oh, they're only going to pick X, this person. We just want to make sure that we have a good balance of representation on a formal role on the council, but we still want to engage. So regardless if you take a more formal role, there's still ways that we're going to engage with you. So I don't want to say a number as of yet, but it's going to be a big group.
And Stephanie, if I could also interject too. And so just like Stephanie was explaining that the provider council membership will be at large. And so while there will be some people who are sitting directly on the seats and helping to make decisions, you guys, providers who are not like figuratively sitting at the table, are still going to be a part of the provider voice and still be a part of the provider council. We will still be finding out ways to engage you, to find out what it is that you're thinking, what your opinions are, because we really want to make this work so that everybody's voice and everybody's opinion has a place and is a part of the process that we're using to kind of figure out what we want to do as a united provider group.
Perfect, thank you. Any other questions? And I just want to say this, we're trying to make this process as transparent as possible. So we're giving you as much as what's been created and developed right now. And we want to share this information to as many people. So if there's folks on the call or the people that that should have been on this call, please share the information. We will share this recording. And again, we have another session tomorrow at 6 o'clock, just so everyone knows what's happening in the Philadelphia region. All right, perfect. Wow, that was easy. Thank you. I didn't know how many questions we were going to have today. All right, so in the box, you can see Sherilyn shared. If you are interested, there is a Google form. If you can complete that, And we will actually get back to everyone very quickly as we want to identify members fairly quickly, but we need to see who's interested first. And we just want to make sure once we get the information that we have a good balance and representation, like I said before, on this council. All right, so I'm just going to share. And while you fill that out, I'm going to actually share one more thing. All right. So I don't know if many of you have heard of our site day at Children's First. So we're still recruiting children, families to come and make an appointment. So if you are interested, I will put the links in the chat box shortly. Families are, this is really geared for children 6 to 17 years of age. Screenings are happening soon. So parents can actually just call the number what's on the screen, but in the links that I provide, you'll have even more information, but I just wanted to pop that on the screen for you. It is geared for kids who do not or did not pass the eye screenings this year, or who do not have any health insurance. But if you have health insurance, you still can, you know, families can still register, but it's really geared for children that, or families that don't have health insurance. So if you know of any families interested, please share the information. There's flyers available. So when I shoot you the links in the chat box, there's flyers in several languages: Chinese, French, Portuguese, Russian. Please share with your families. I believe mid-October, I want to say the 15th is the last possible day. But appointments are, they're taking appointments now. So I just wanted to share that information. Let me put you in the chat box. And then one more thing that I will mention too, let me stop sharing my screen. So many of you have lots of expertise, and we understand your time is very valuable. So we do want to let you know there is a stipend. So if you have a more formalized role on the provider council, there will be a stipend. I couldn't tell you. If you asked me how much, I couldn't tell you that, but there is something. But we all know we don't do this for the money. We do this to really support the field. But if you have any questions, my contact. Here's my contact again, but if you're interested, in the box, there is a link for the interest form. Please fill that out. We do appreciate your time. Like I said, we allotted an hour. Just we're thinking we would have lots of questions, but I guess we did a really good job explaining what the provider council is. So if not, we'll stay on for just a couple extra minutes if last minute questions. So. But that's all I have. And we have anybody else in the team have anything else to share? Okay, perfect. I'm going to stop recording.